What is going on, YouTube? Man, that just gives me chills every time I hear that intro. Hello, everyone out there. I hope everyone is having a good evening. At least it's evening here on the East Coast. I know West Coast, it's like 3:45 or whatever it is over there, but I hope you guys are enjoying your Wednesday night or afternoon. As always, this is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles, and we are here today for the Key Issue Spec Show. This is episode number 4. Just want to say hi to everyone out there in the YouTube community before we get started tonight. We'll see if anybody shows up live. If not, if you guys are checking this out on the replay, I suggest you go back and watch episodes 1, 2, and 3. This is episode number 4. I will do a little bit of a recap if you don't feel like going back and checking out those videos. Episode number 1, my spec book. My number 1 spec book is Amazing Spider-Man number 194, first appearance of the Black Cat and Felicia Hardy. Episode 2 covers the Black Suit, all issues, Marvel Team Up 141, Secret Wars 8, and ASM 252, with ASM 252 being the money book. And of course, last week we went over Marvel Spotlight 32 and Avengers number 8, the first appearance of Kang, and of course was the first appearance of the Spider-Woman. If anybody hasn't heard, there was some information or a video out earlier in the week about possible Spider-Woman showing up in a possible movie. I'm not sure if it was Sony or MCU, but if you haven't checked that out, check on YouTube, search Spider-Woman movie. I'm sure it'll come up. So that's some great news for that book, like we talked about last week. But we're here for episode number 4, and I have some good stuff for you guys to see this week. First, let me get caught up on a chat and say hello to a couple of guys. Of course, my few regulars and some of my best viewers. Simon R., what's going on, buddy? And of course, Chunky Monkey Comics. How are you, Woodman? If anybody hasn't checked out Chunky Monkey, he's got some new content. He's a new channel out there, so check him out if you haven't done so already. Either way, let me show you guys the first book that's on the Key Issue Spec Show, episode number 4. One more, let me say hi to Jason Ovian because he just popped in. What's going on, brother? We're going to do another live claim sale soon. I will let you know when we're going to do it. But like I said, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the first book. Now, this is the first book that I showed you that I only actually have 1 copy of for right now. It is an expensive book, but a book that is still undervalued. It's a book that people were talking about maybe about 6 months ago, a little happening, and it could still happen, but with everything going on with COVID-19, it's kind of gone down a little bit in price, but it's still an inexpensive book. Key Issue Spec Show is going to revolve around this one. Amazing Spider-Man number 14, the first appearance of the Green Goblin. Now, this is a CGC graded copy. It is a 3.5 with off-white to white pages. So it is, it's a low to mid-grade book. It looks a lot better than that, in my opinion, but definitely looks better than a 3.5. I do not know why this came back so low. I had this graded a long time ago, but either way, this is my number 1 spec book for this show. I do have a couple more to show you. And as always, we're going to jump on GPA. I'm going to show you what this book is worth and some of the other grades are worth. So let's do that right now. So just to give you a bit of a heads up, I actually screwed this up the past couple of weeks, so I apologize. I'm going to share my screen. Hopefully I picked the right one. I believe it's this. And of course it's not. So let me go back over again. That is the wrong book. Let's try this again. Nope, that's the wrong one again. Man, why did they make this so hard? Let's try this again. Number 3. No, I'm 0 for 3. Let's try this one more time, and I apologize if I'm making anyone sick. It's still the wrong one. So what am I doing wrong here? Let's try this again. There we go. Finally. Hope you guys can see that. This is Amazing Spider-Man number 14, the first appearance of the Green Goblin. I'm circling the 3.5 Universal label that I have. And as you can see, the last sale was $860. Now, as you can see, May 2020, $860. Previous 3 months were, actually 3 years were $1,065, $1,082, and $1,105. Before that, $872. So as you can see, this book has gone down considerably. It was real hot for a while. People were going crazy to get about Norman Osborn and the Green Goblin coming to the MCU, and it's since cooled off. I think due to COVID and not too many people hearing about anything Marvel. But now is the time to jump on this book. The Green Goblin is such a huge part of the Amazing Spider-Man storyline and Spider-Man in general. It's his arch nemesis. And of course, Norman Osborn is a huge factor in the Marvel universe. So as we see, 860 was the low, 1250 was the high earlier this year. So to me, this is prime pickings to get this book if you can do so and if you can afford it. Again, there's no telling what could happen once they announce him, once he shows up in the movie. We're talking at least, I think, a third, and that's at minimum, a third price jump. So I'm going to go and I'm going to check out some other lower grades because, like I said, this is an expensive book. I don't expect everyone out there to be able to afford this book. And we can go to 3.0 right here. You can see 925, which is actually higher than the 3.5, which is crazy. So they're out there and they're getting kind of affordable to those who could spend that kind of money on stuff. Again, a 2.5 is 935. So to me, a 1.8 is 750. You know, they're all lumped in together. So to me, you're able to find a nice copy of this book for not cheap. It's definitely an expensive book, but a book that to me is worth, you know, definitely worth taking a big chance on, you know, for an appearance soon in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And like I said, it's such a huge character in the Marvel Universe because what he's gone on to become after, you know, his first appearance and outside of even Spider-Man, you know. So he's a huge piece of the puzzle, a huge villain in the Marvel Cinematic Universe upcoming. So hopefully we get to see him sooner rather than later. But this book is definitely undervalued right now. Like again, in the $1,100 range, which you saw at a 3.5 earlier this year, you know, that was the speculation starting to heat up and now it's cooled off again. So now is the time to pick up this book if you haven't gotten it yet. Now, when we do this, I always give you guys a second option. I never say, well, this is, you know, the only option out there for a first appearance of the Green Goblin. As I said before, I am not a second appearance guy. I've never been a second appearance guy, although I do own some second appearance issues. To me, it's always better to get the first appearance, and that's my opinion only. However, I like to give options, right? Not everyone can spend $1,000 on a book. And if they can, it's going to take them a long time to save it up, just like me or anyone else, save up a long time to be able to buy it. So in the meantime, if you want to get some spec hype and you don't want to do the second appearance thing, here's a book that you might think, well, we'll get a Spike as well, but just not as big as Spike. It is Amazing Spider-Man number 37. So anyone doesn't know who this is, that don't know what this is the first appearance of Norman Osborn. Now, in this condition, it's about a 3.5. It's literally under $100. It's like a $75 book. That was the last sale for a 3.5. And that's a CGC graded book. This is a raw copy, so you could probably get it cheaper than that. If anything, I think this will double. Maybe you go to 150, but it's a nice placeholder to have until you're able to get that ASM 14. This is an undervalued book to me, considering who Norman Osborn is in Marvel. He is such a huge figure that for me to get a mid-grade book for under $100 is crazy. And to be honest, I think I paid like $40 something for this book maybe about 6 months ago. So deals can definitely be had. Again, ASM 14 is the money book, but if you want to back up just to get a part of it, I think this ASM number 37 would be a nice pickup as well. So what do you guys think of my first one? I think that's a pretty good long-term spec, especially considering it's a huge villain for Spider-Man. Like I said, his arch nemesis and a possibility, a great possibility of him showing up in the MCU or other Disney stuff. So I'm going to get caught up in a chat. As I said, got some guys in there, Chunky Monkey, Jason Ovian, Simon R. Yes, definitely Spider-Man history. It's a keeper. If anybody hasn't checked out, like we went over the first, Amazing Spider-Man 194. What was it? The Black Suit Spider-Man copies. Kang was the only outsider, and then you had Spider-Woman, so still part of the Spider-Verse. And now today, Amazing Spider-Man number 14, the first appearance of the Green Goblin, and then of course ASM number 37, first Norman Osborn. So, but like I said, sometimes I'm going to do one book, sometimes I'm going to do two, sometimes I may even do three. So I have second book to show you guys today if anybody is interested in something else. So this book is spiked recently. There's been a little bit of talk with everything going on in DC that this character may show up in the Snyder Cut. In fact, he was scheduled to show up before he got the boot And of course, when Snyder came off the project, let me guys just show you what it is because I'm sure you probably know what it is already. So the first one I'm going to show you is Forever People #1. And of course, this is the first appearance of Darkseid. It's labeled at a fine copy, so probably a 6.0. I got to be honest, it looks a hell of a lot better than that. I'm talking 6.570 for a raw copy. Now, I paid, I think, $120 for this book, so it's still very affordable for a major DC villain. And let's be honest, these books are cheap DC-wise because of what's going on there with the movies. They haven't been very good. This is a huge villain. Like in the DC universe, this villain is as good as it gets. He's like the Thanos version of DC. So to me, for this book to be so undervalued, to me, it's crazy. Now, I don't remember if I have this book on here. I believe I do. So I'm going to go ahead and pop it up. I believe this is it. This is a 6.0 right here, guys. Hopefully you guys are seeing the right one. You know what? Let me make it. Yeah, that's it. So as you can see, the 6.0 right here. Actually, hold on a second. This might not be the right one. This is not the right one. So give me 1 second. That's the other book I was going to show you. Let me try this one more time. No, I was right the first time, I guess. Sorry about that. Share screen is definitely not your friend in StreamYard. I will say that, folks. Definitely not your friend. So this is it. So again, Forever People #1. There you go. You guys could see 6.0 right here is $170. 6.5 actually is $144. So go ahead. That's a CGC. Those are the last sales. 144 for a 6.5 and 170 for a 6.0. And of course, these are CGC graded books. That's a raw copy. But either way, that is a nice jump. And you can see all the green arrows, right? We can see the green arrows 90, 105, 116, 170. And of course, 6.5, 119, 120, 123, and a 144. I think whoever got that 144 probably got a nice gift. But either way, as you can see, it is already going up. And once that Snyder Cut comes out, I think you'll definitely see another pop. So that's the first option. Well, let's go out and let's see what the second option is. Now I can close that off, and now I can show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. The second book is Superman's Pal, X-Pal, the new Jimmy Olsen, #134. Now, I have a 3.0 off-white copy of this book, CBCS. Not the best looking copy, but I got to be honest, again, this book looks so much better than a 3.5. They really destroyed me on these grading, and I don't know why. There's a little bit of spine wear here, but either way, I think this is a nicer copy than a 3.0. But I digress. This is another key issue. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go on a share screen. I only got one now, so this is definitely going to be right. There you go. Make this full screen. Now I have this, like I said, a 3.5. I want to show you the 6.0, 6.5 range. So 6.5 right here is 225. That was the last sale. A 6.0 is 218. Now we do see over the past couple months, it's gone down like $5. I don't think that's a big deal. And I'm only showing you a 6.0, a 6.5 because I'm comparing it to the Forever People. So to me, this book is a little bit more expensive. It's a little bit more sought after. This is the first cameo, if you guys didn't know, the first cameo of Darkseid, whereas the Forever People, I believe, is the first full appearance. So we'll go down and we'll check at my 3.0. It's not an expensive book. Again, it's a $95. $95 is so inexpensive for a key, for a big key. And I got to be honest, it's just because DC has not done well with their movies. If they ever get that straightened out, it will be, fixed, and you'll see these books start to jump. So I think jumping on the DC comic book wagon for speculation, for big villains, for big heroes outside of Batman and Superman, because that's nearly impossible. But all the other ones I think are attainable to some people out there, and the smaller ones are definitely attainable as well. But these are two to keep an eye on, and they're still relatively inexpensive. And we got that sneak peek about a couple of weeks ago of what Darkseid might have looked like in the movie. If anybody hasn't checked that out, try to search the internet for it. It was pretty cool. Wasn't that bad. Wasn't as big as I thought he should be, but from what I read, they thought it was a younger version of him. So either way, when DC gets their crap together, you'll start to see these books go out even more, and of course we can all enjoy the spike in prices too. So anyway, let me get caught up in a chat. Simon R. Jason Ovian, again, what's going on? Chunky Monkey, regardless, the Green Goblin is so much part of the Spider-Man. Exactly, man. Spider-Man history is definitely a keeper. Anything ASM to me is collectible, as you can see behind me, because that's mostly Spider-Man keys. But to me, I own 1 through 50. It took me forever to do that, but most of them are raw except for the big books. So to me, Spider-Man is probably the best character out there. I think going forward in Marvel and in the MCU, that will be the basis of everything. As long as the Sony and Marvel relationship keeps going the way it's going, we should be all right. Bonix, what's going on, brother? How are you? Thanks for joining. Phil Ang, what's going on? Glad you guys could pop in for a couple minutes to check out episode number 4. I hope you guys are enjoying it. I hope you guys are enjoying it as much as I am. Showing you guys books from my collection that I think are due for a pop. And I think the first 4 episodes we've done so far, I think I've hit it, especially with that Marvel Spotlight number 32, because it's starting to go. And like I said, look for that video because it gave a lot of information on what we might see for that character. So that's it for episode number 4, a Key Issue Spec Show, guys. Next week, we'll be doing another book or 2 books. You never know if I can pull something out that I think is going to be a good investment going forward. So with that said, thank you all you guys for joining me tonight. Anybody watching this on the rewind, if you are not a subscriber, I ask you to subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you guys could see all the videos I'm putting out. I actually don't have a haul video this week, believe it or not. I don't have any books coming, so I got to get on that and see if there's anything out there that I want to add to the collection. So again, this is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles saying thanks for watching this video. Like this video, like it, share, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you guys for watching.